For most individuals, fear is a constant in existence. It is that which you survive from. It's that which you push against. It's that which you use to justify, to judge, to categorize, to define. And basically, it's that which defines your existence. So the result it is you spend a great deal of time playing around with fear. Love also is that which defines your existence. It isn't that which you spend a great deal of time judging, defining, or categorizing, but it is that which allows you to choose, that which encourages you to explore, that which encourages you to try something different, to move in a different direction, to expand your life, to try relationships, to have children. It is that which moves you to share, to be vulnerable, to be open, to be compassionate, to be kind, and to be gentle. So in that sense, both fear and love exist within each and every one of you. Some of you choose fear more often than love. Some of you choose love more often than fear. But regardless, what we see is that for the majority of humanity, virtually every individual chooses it fairly consistently and fairly well balanced. And by that we mean that for the majority of humanity, it's almost 50-50. Some individuals in humanity move the balance a little more towards fear. Some move a balance a little more towards love. But regardless, overall, most individuals, the average individual who is in society, looking to survive, looking to live, examining their circumstances of existence, and making choices that allow them to explore, to expand, to survive, they use a balance of 50-50. 50% love, 50% fear. And so, given that then, it would be of benefit to every individual listening if they were to observe within themselves that this balance does exist, and to what degree then do they give one part more importance than the other? Most individuals, to some degree or another, fear, and don't acknowledge love. So what they do is they fear so much that it becomes the dominant and predominant aspect of their existence. And by not acknowledging love, and not acknowledging that part of them that is compassionate, that is kind, that is gentle, they, in effect, minimize that part of themselves so completely that more power again is given to fear. And the more power you give to fear, the more you find yourselves attracting that which you fear. The simplicity of it is, dear friends, that if you want to live a different existence, it would be of benefit if everyone observed without judgment, and this is necessary here, the observation without judgment, observe the balance of love and fear that exists within each and every one of you. And once you've observed the balance, observe the degree to which you acknowledge that balance. Observe for yourselves whether or not you truly acknowledge your own compassion, your own kindness, your own love, and or whether you spend most of your time acknowledging your fears. Now, it's of benefit, of course, to explore fear. It's of benefit to not give it power. It's of benefit to choose differently from fear, so that you can eventually bring this 50-50 balance to a different ratio where love is the predominance of your existence. That has benefit, because the more love you have in your existence, the more you'll explore, the more you'll choose freely, the more you'll go out and try something new. But if you, even though there is benefit to that, the greater benefit at this point for your existence is simply to acknowledge the reality of who you are. And the reality of who you are, we assure you, once you've observed without judgment, you'll be amazed at your reality. Your reality, dear friends, is not what you anticipate it to be, what you imagine it to be. You are not all fear, well, you're fear-based, but not to the degree that fear does not completely control your existence. And to the degree that you start to explore this, you'll start to find new opportunities for choice, new opportunities for exploration and expansion. You can't observe the opportunities for choice and expansion in your existence if you can't observe the degree of love that you have within yourselves. How many of you truly acknowledge for yourselves how much you love who you are? Oh, you most of the time, if somebody hands you a compliment, the first thing you do is basically deny it, denigrate it, and say, oh, no, it was nothing. Why not say thank you? If they acknowledge your beingness by saying, hey, you're an amazing person. Do you realize how compassionate you are? Do you realize how caring you are? Why not acknowledge that? Why must you minimize that in order to, what? Prove to yourself that you're not as loving as you think you are, as your reality is? To try to confirm your illusion as opposed to accepting your reality? We're not saying here that you need to get a swelled head because somebody says something nice about you. We're saying acknowledging your reality. And how can you acknowledge another person's perspective about you as your reality if you have not observed that reality and not judged it? So it's important here for you, dear friends, all of you, to stop judging the extent to which you choose differently and start acknowledging the choices you're making. Start acknowledging the expansion you have in your life. Start acknowledging the things that you do, the things that you choose, the things that are explorative, expansive, loving, compassionate, kind, gentle, vulnerable, open. Take a look, dear friends, all of you. Take a look at yourselves. Spend some time examining who you are. And then once you've done that, take a look again. Because we assure you that somewhere in that first look there was judgment. Take a good, strong second look. Eliminate judgment. And you'll see amazing, talented, gifted individuals. All of you are capable of such creative choices, capable of such expansion. Humanity, the universe, is waiting for you to acknowledge yourselves. Humanity needs you to acknowledge yourselves. There's a need there. Because humanity cannot choose to expand unless it begins to acknowledge its own basic loving self. Humanity is more than willing to go out and explore through fear, through harm, through judgment. But why not explore through love? Well, I can't do it until you do it. And realize here, and we see all of you, every one of you who is listening right now to this particular recording, even though you would say to yourself, yes, but I listened to it a week later, or 2 weeks later, or a month later, or 6 months later, even though you would listen to it at a different time than when this recording was made, we assure you we still observe you. You are within us now. And because you are within us now, we observe within you such a brilliance, such a capability of love. It's there. It's building inside you. It's a fire that is burning within you, so strong, but it is oftentimes ignored and judged. You judge yourselves as not being good enough because, after all, if you had this brilliance, you'd be out saving the world. We're not saying go save the world. We're not saying it's your responsibility to fix everybody in this world. We're not saying to you it's up to you to help everybody in this world. We're saying help yourself. We're saying take care of yourself. Let that flame shine bright within yourselves. Let it roar. Let it become a roaring fire inside of you. And from there, well then, you'll share with others. You'll find this kindness actually going out to others. You'll find this compassion expressing itself outwards. You'll find this perspective of love actually going out and expressing itself. Why? Because you can't hold this flame inside of you any longer. It's too strong. It's too powerful. It's too capable. Unless, of course, you revert back to giving fear more and more power. When you give fear more and more power, that flame inside of you gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And you'll find yourselves in a struggle, knowing that you are more than what you say you are, knowing that you are more than what you imagine yourselves to be, and not capable of changing your lives because fear has taken over and you're giving it power. It isn't difficult to change from giving fear power to acknowledging your love.